Hello everybody, welcome back. I'm the Stretch Professor, and today we're going to be doing a brand new campaign with Archaeon. So as always, if you enjoy the content, please be sure to like and subscribe. It really helps out a ton on the channel. If you'd like to sponsor a campaign yourself, it's just $3 an episode, minimum 10 episodes. Just email me, let me know what you have in mind. We can set that up. And if you want to watch more campaigns, be sure to check out the channel on YouTube. We have dozens and dozens of campaigns. And this is going to be with the SFO mod. So that's formerly the Steel Faith Overhaul mod. You can find it on the Games Workshop, main website, and I'll have a link in the description as well. Or on the Steam main workshop for the game, the Steam Workshop. Okay, Games Workshop's the company. But anyways, let's go ahead and get in here. So I do have, this has been one of the more popular campaigns, the one that I did last year with Archaeon. I haven't done it in about a year, and they did some balancing and different adjustments, so we're going to try a different approach. David wanted us to do Chaos Undivided this time. Last time we specialized in Nurgle, so it should be pretty fun. And I'll point you through some of the changes and some of the major things as we go through. But yeah, we're going to do Archaeon again. I think Archaeon is the best main lord by a long shot. Like, it's not even close with Chaos. Kolic Suneater's okay. He is powerful. He's very good at dueling enemy lords that are mounted and killing horses and things like that. The main drawback is that he can't climb up towers on sieges, and he's very vulnerable to spears and halberds, and that's just a lot of the fights we're going to be doing are going to be sieges, Empire sieges, where they're going to have a lot of halberds, they're going to have a lot of spears. And it's difficult. So he's good, like, later on to, deal with a secondary army, but, like, your primary, like, get down to business siege army, Archaeon's going to be better. And Sigvald, similarly, is, like, he's actually probably, I used to really not like this guy, but I think he's a good secondary lord just because he does get the extra horde growth, which helps you out a lot, and then he gets a discount on marauders, which can be pretty good to pick up later on. And he's a pretty good duelist, so I believe he used to have perfect vigor. Or there's a skill point you can get that gives him perfect vigor, which is perfect because then he can climb up the walls and he doesn't get tired by doing that. So he's great at just putting him up on the rafters and just kind of slogging your way through a bunch of other people. So pretty bad, like, normal lord, but he's a pretty decent secondary lord. Archaeon also is the only one who has any magic in the early game, and they made the sorcerers tier 4 now, so it takes you a really long time to get to sorcerers. So if you want any magic at all, I guess you can get a sorcerer lord, but if you want your main lord to have any magic, then you got to go with Archaeon. So stuff they changed about him, you can get an exalted hero early on. You don't have to have a special building for that with him anymore, which is kind of nice. Physical resist on Chaos Knights, horde building, construction cost -10. You get an extra -50 diplomacy with all factions. They come stock all chaos with -75, so everyone hates you, you're chaos, you're going to fight everybody, with the exception of potentially Skaven, which we'll talk about that when we get in there strategically. They can be a pretty good ally. And then melee attack for Chaos Cultists. Now this is interesting, which we'll get into when we go in there, but Chaos Cultists, they actually buffed those up quite a bit, and I think they might be a decent substitute for early Marauders. We'll go over that strategy when we get in there, but you get extra for raising settlements. He used to get way more than that. I think he used to get 25% back in the day. So they kind of nerfed his money a little bit. And I believe he used to get cost reduction on Chosen also, I think. But now he only gets it on Chaos Knights. And you get free the Regiments of Renowned Chaos Knights when you get them. But the thing is, like, you have to be level 20 for that. So he's got some good late game scaling as well. So anyways, let's go ahead and get in here. We'll talk about Chaos a little bit more. Now, I really do like this, and it's legendary very hard, of course, just like all my campaigns. And there's no other mods for using for this one. It's way better with SFO because they redid the tech tree to actually make it some very interesting techs, and you have so many different choices. I think what makes a great strategy game are choices, obviously, and for there to be choices, there has to be some semblance of balance and trade-offs and min-maxing and things like that. And there's some of that in normal Total War for sure. Like, it's a great game, Total War Warhammer, but there's way more in SFO. They usually add like more units, more interesting stat balances to add more trade-offs, and with Chaos they added more techs, so you can specialize in specific gods and you get certain traits sort of relevant to those gods. Then you have god-themed units that you can get, which are very expensive but very powerful if you tech into them. Or you can go Chaos Undivided, which just gives you a little bit more like generic power And especially in the early game, the Chaos Undivided, I think, can be quite strong with you get to summon a couple of extra units. And that's what David G wanted to see, so that's what we're going to do. And then they sort of restructured the Horde. We'll just go ahead and skip that. They restructured kind of the Horde and like building system a little bit. So let's talk about the text, and then we'll make sure that we get some fights here too. But basically, if you haven't seen this yet, you choose one, Chaos Divided or Undivided. It's 10,000 favor. I'm just going to call it gold throughout the game. It's the same thing. It's what you get from fighting and buildings and all that stuff. But you get 10,000 gold to do either one of these. If you do Chaos Divided, then you get +5 melee attack, defense, and leadership on all of your god units. And you get the Tzeentch units, and I'll show you those here in a second. Tzeentch units, Slaanesh, Khorne, and Nurgle. And then Chaos Undivided basically allows you when a unit on the enemy side drops below 50% health and you're attacking, then you can cast this once per fight, and it basically kills them, finishes them off, and you get a Chaos Spawn summon out of it, which is pretty cool. And Forsaken Blessing, now you can only cast this on your own injured unit, so your unit has to be below 50%. It damages your unit by quite a lot, but it does not kill it necessarily. I think it's a certain percentage of health, because I cast it on somebody who had like a cultist when I was trying this out, who had like 40% health, and he didn't die from it. And it gives you a Forsaken Regiment of Renown. So you get 2 extra units, which is nice. I mean, that's effectively like walking around with a spawn, and a Forsaken Regiment of Renown would probably be at least 700 or 800 gold. So that's pretty significant. And then you can't get any of these techs down here if you go Undivided, and you can't get any of the techs up here if you try to go Divided. So the techs up here, 1 extra Chosen, actually does matter quite a bit, because that's all 3 of the Chosen. The Halberd, the normal sword and board, and the great swords. That's 3 extra Chosen, which is nice. It's like the best infantry in the game, or certainly very close to it. And you get like extra buffs you can put on them, so that's a good late game. This extra vigor loss reduction on all armies is nice. Immune to Horde infighting means you can stand next to other hordes. It's good. Leadership's okay, so it's an alright tech. Late game, each one of these are 15 turns with 100%, so it takes a while to get them. This one's not amazing, but 50% campaign line of sight's okay. But this is very good. 10% upkeep in all units is awesome, because you don't have as much stable income as a lot of other factions do. You do have a little bit more, which we'll go into here in just a second, but yeah, upkeep reduction is still a huge deal. And if you go into these, once again, we're not going into these, but I'll just go into just really quickly. This is aggressive themed. Each one of them, you get 10% upgrade or upkeep on that type of god. This one gives you extra attack, charge, vigor, and magic resistance, but you don't have as much magic, so it's always like a trade-off. This gives you lethal poison and health regeneration, but you lose a little bit of melee attack and speed, and this is on all units in all of your armies. So it's not even just the god units, it's every unit. And this is what we did before, and this is super strong. Like, your units are extremely difficult to kill and can just like pretty much out attrition almost anybody. You're slow, but that really doesn't matter, because you can just regenerate through arrows most of the time. And the lethal poison really lowers their damage by quite a bit. Yeah, so that's very, very strong, especially on sieges, where it's just kind of, you just a bunch of melee slogging it out in the rafters, in the ramparts. It's good. And then some of these down here, you get extra rating money, recruit +10 recruit rank for exalted heroes is pretty nice, and then minus 50% on a couple of different things. But each time you get one of these, it's plus 5% cost for each other type of god. So, and you'll want to get all of the gods eventually. This one, the big ticket one, is Horde growth. This one kind of sucks, the reinforcement range and Horde building costs, because these take a long time to research too. So it's okay. The 8 growth is very nice, but everything else is subpar. The purple one just pretty much sucks. Like, I mean, the campaign movement range is quite good, but in general, like, these guys, the Slaanesh guys, are really, like, they're just really vulnerable most of the time. Like, they do a lot of armor piercing damage and they're fast, but they usually have low armor, low health. And then Tzeentch, you get extra just like debuffs on your attacks. You get extra mana. And then you get extra magic here, 10% reduced cost for spells and miscast chance, and then a lot of extra research. So it's okay, but it's not crazy. So if you do want to do this, I recommend, I think Nurgle's probably the strongest one, in my opinion, but we're going to be doing Undivided this time. And then you can get these followers. We'll walk through these more, but basically this gives you unit capacity, and this is one of the only ways you can get it. There are a couple of other ways, but like each time you level up one of these, you can hire one more of that specific type of ward. And usually there's one where it's like you get some buffs for them. So this is plus 10 melee defense, plus 10 physical resist, cooldown to whatever their special ability is, sometimes one more use, like recruit rank and upkeep reduction, and then some kind of aura that they give to other people around them. And that's kind of how it is with all of them. It's just a different aura upkeep with some slightly different bonuses and things like that. We're going to be getting Tzeentch early, and I'll go through these before, but they get a lot of free spells, which are very strong. So you get 20% upkeep reduction, and then you get 25% cooldown on your 2 main abilities. You don't get an extra charge of them, but they're super strong. And then you get extra mana regeneration with them. And then over here, like, these are pretty familiar. They're similar. In order to get extra armies, you have to rank these up. And that's one of the only ways to do it. I guess, like, you can do it with growth as well, I believe. I think you still have to do this and get growth. And then if you want extra capacity for chosen Chaos Knights and Aspiring Champions, then you have to go up here, and it's expensive, and it costs extra recruitment to recruit them. And then some of these that are really noteworthy. So I think what I want to start with is probably the Cultist. This gives you 50% off upkeep and recruitment for all cultists, which makes them super cheap, which is great because a lot of your other units are going to be really expensive. And you can do 20% off Marauders, which is very good, and then 10% post-battle loot. Upkeep reduction for heroes and lords is great late game. So this is actually one of the better trees right here, honestly, the very first one. And then extra leadership for Marauders and melee attack if you want to get those, that's good. Recruitment costs for Marauders are down, that's good. And then, let's see, raising settlements 10%. So you can get like 20% off of Marauders there. And then I think your buildings you can get, if you level this all the way up. Now that's just upkeep, not recruitment though. But cultists now, you used to only be able to hire them in a Chaos Fortress, which we'll go to later. Basically, you can occupy Middenheim and Carcassonne are the 2 closest ones, and you can like hire Chaos units there, but you have to protect them. It's interesting. It's interesting. We'll go into it more when we get there, but basically there are certain strategic locations in the lore that have a lot of Chaos influence, and that allows you to try to hold a normal city. And then, but now you can hire the cultists just from your tier 2, so you don't have to have this building, which I think is pretty nice, because then that opens up, like, when you get rid of this building, then it drops all of the growth requirements by 2. So if you want to get this blue one, you would normally have to have 4, but if you lower this, you'd only have to have 2. So this, I mean, this does lower upkeep a lot. You do get some utility with it. It is fairly cheap for a lot of the buildings. It's only 1,800, then 2,700. It's going to take a little while to get to tier 3, because it's very expensive. It's not like 5,000 here and 9,000 here. And most of the other stuff are really expensive. That's like 6,700. That's not that bad at 4,500. This stuff's like 10,000 effectively. So it's pretty expensive. These aren't that bad. They're like 4,500. But I don't know, like, the Marauders are good. They just cost a lot more to hire for the most part. They are stronger than Cultists. Cultists do have this buff, though, where they injure themselves. It doesn't kill them, but it injures them, at least in my experience when I tried it before, and it gives everyone 30 melee attack and 10 leadership. So I'm thinking if you cast Sacrifice on a Cultist and you spawn that Regiment of Renown on him at the same time, I'm not sure what would happen. But they get to be where they're almost free to hire when you get all the upgrades for them. It's like 80% off their recruitment, so they're going to be like 100 gold. And then that'll give you the Regiment of Renown basically for free, and then you would get the 30 extra leadership, or 30 melee attack and 10 leadership to go with it. So anyways, we're going to try that out, but let's go ahead and get into a fight here. Don't want to talk too much. And I I don't think I want to do the research rate thing yet. I guess we can just do power this up to tier 2, because it does give you extra growth, and that will allow us to hire cultists. So and this army's, it's pretty solid. Like, you don't really need to hire a bunch of other stuff early on, I don't think, if you manage it properly, because we're already like bleeding gold, so we don't want to do too much of that. That does give us a little bit of extra growth. I mean, that would effectively give us 600 gold if we just raided this turn, but I think I'm just going to upgrade the building while I can. And there's no need to get rid of that building until I want to get the blue one. No need to get rid of this because it does give us money per turn, and it does give us a discount as well, so go ahead and grab that. You can get more Chaos Warriors, but they are very expensive. They're 384. And my thought process is I want to spend my money on what I like to call strategic units. I'll go ahead and switch. So we're getting Path to Ruination first. I mean, we could get this first also. That would make this fight a little bit cleaner. It would take us one more turn to get to cultists, though. I guess it does make the first fight a bit cleaner, so I guess let's go ahead and get that. So we're going to have less casualties, and then we'll just delay the cultist upgrade by a turn. I think that's probably wise. Okay. And then tech-wise, diplomacy. Alright, I think that's all good. Can't really, like, most people hate you with the exception of, like, some other evil factions might like you a little bit, like Skaven. But, okay. Don't want to hire. We're waiting on cultist. So with most factions, I like to spend my money on strategic units, as I call it. So, like, infantry, having a good infantry line is nice, and we will get chosen, we will get some of the elite infantry, but especially, like, early on, like, most of your damage and, like, most of your power comes from other things. Usually flanking type of units, monsters, cavalry, magical units, just anything except for just your, you know, beefy infantry line. So if you can just get some kind of cheap and very effective infantry line and then spend the rest of your money on other types of units, that's usually good. So casualty replenish. Okay, so we get a choice here, and this is going to give us some extra stuff for a while. So post-battle loot 25%, or we could get growth, horde growth. Horde growth is at a premium, but money is a very big deal early on too. Replenishment's nice, but they're all pretty good. I think I'm going to go with corn, though. We just want as much money as we can get. This is probably going to give us at least like 5,000 gold. It doesn't improve raise money, but it improves battle money. Yeah, I think especially if I'm getting rid of the Marauder thing, I'm only going to need 2 more growths to get the blue building. So I think we're going to go for the money. Okay, and when you fight with Archaon, I'll almost always do this stance if you can help it. Just the 25 extra winds of magic for 3 melee attack is a good deal. Now, we don't have that much magic, I guess, early on, but I think it's still a good bargain. Okay. They're not at war with anyone else, so we're just going to go. As with a lot of factions, if they're at war with anybody else, then like, you can see if those people will pay you. And you really want to try to get decisive victories if you can help it, especially early on, because that determines how much experience you're going to get. So you really want to level up. The early levels are a very big deal because you get 2 skill points for it. And we want to probably go for Burning Head early in the fire tree. They, like, nerfed it a lot. They've nerfed a lot of magic. In SFO, it's like 20 winds of magic or something to cast it, but it's still worth it. Like, you're going to kill 100 units off of that. And it's just not, like, the Flamestorm, I think David was asking me on stream about this actually. Flamestorm is very good, but you have to put a lot more points in fire to get to it. Oh, I forgot to hire an Exalted Hero for this. Damn, minor goof. We'll still be able to win it, but you should hire the Exalted Hero on the first turn and then attack and then have him join your army this turn. So a little bit of an oops there. Okay, so the main thing you want to control when you're fighting against Norskins is their horses. You don't have good missile infantry, especially early on in the game, so you really want to try to focus fire down that, and especially because I'm not going for Horse Masters. Horse Masters can deal with it pretty well, but I'll just put this with this, and then
yes, Lord. All will be destroyed.
see where they go. Yeah, it shouldn't be a massive deal. The Exalted Hero's not like insane, but it's a little bit of a deal. But it's fine. We'll deal with it. Did save some in upkeep costs, right? We saved like 300 gold in upkeep costs. Maybe that'll come back and be nice early on. Okay, so we just want to try to just take this dude out as soon as we can.
Name your demand. Harvest their souls. Despoiling.
Alright, you want to throw them in first.
Marauder horsemen! Charge! For chaos!
Because they have shields.
What?
They have silver shields, so the normal chaos are pretty difficult to kill. Otherwise, they'll focus fire your chosen with great swords that don't have shields. Alright, let's go ahead and spawn that, and then we can just move over here.
Tremble, mortals! Archaeon! You think I am not versed in the arcane? Huh? Yes! Running! Move fast! Obliterate them! Skulls for the Skull Throne! Deliver slaughter! Marauder horsemen! For the Chaos God! Running!
Alright, we'll put the big boys on them. They hit pretty hard.
My God's call! Archaeon! Chaos come!
Boys, kill that. What?
Chaos warriors! Charge! Chaos marauders! Wipe them out! Running! Kill! Maim! Bind! Archaeon! Archaeon might to me! Name your demand!
My Chaos Warriors are taking a bit of a hit here. They just are not leaving. Like, I told them to run like 50 years ago, and they're still just like sitting here. Oh, I forgot that's not like an actual lord. Yeah, a bunch of my dudes just got caught.
Archaeon! Chosen! My blade hungers!
Yes, Lord! We fight! What? Fight!
Archaeon! Give us ruin!
Blood!
Chosen! Move
Oh, these are chosen? Yeah, they'll crush them. That's fine. Yeah, you want to try to chase down as many of the little clowns as you can, because they'll rally back even though they don't have a general and the rest, everything else is broken. Because, you know, legendary.
Tzeentch's many glories!
This should be pretty clean though, I think. And these guys are injured, but there's still a lot of them left.
Kill them all!
I'm gonna fast forward and kill as many as we can. I think it might affect the victory type. I'm not 100%. I know that like they're all gonna die because it's actually no, I'm gonna go ahead and end it because I think it'll give more kills to the, it like rounds off the rest of them, and I think it tends to give a lot to like the spawn and the chosen, so like your higher tier units get a bigger cut of the kills. So it says he killed 59 here, but we'll see after it rounds off the rest of them. Because obviously if it's a town, they all die. So. And you can access the other legendary lords by accomplishing certain tasks to unlock them, so you don't like confederate or anything. Which is pretty cool. To get the Sigvald, you have to awaken 4 tribes. So if you take over certain sections of the north here, there are different like tribes you can wake up and they come in as your vassals. You gotta be a little careful with that because they will fight each other sometimes, and if they're both your vassals, you're gonna have to betray one of them. So you could get caught up in some stuff, and typically they don't go outside the north. That's why trying to befriend the Skaven is good, because then they can cover your tracks. Because one of the big problems with Chaos in general is wherever you try to go, everybody hates you, they're always fighting you, and then they'll start colonizing all of your stuff again. And so you can very easily get like repopulated and surrounded. So having an ally that will hold that property for you is nice, and you get more replenishment as well when you step onto that property if you need to fall back in some situations. And it just gives you gold. If you can get them to vassalize whenever they colonize, and start upgrading stuff, you can get a lot of gold. So before, I've gotten like 7,000 or 8,000 vassal gold off of the Skaven. So, so I'm gonna awaken this tribe here. So you have options where you can burn it. You always get the same amount of money. You cannot sack it, and I love how they fix this. You cannot just cheese and multi-sack the same town over and over again. At least I don't think so. And then you get certain buffs for 10 turns. So this gives you, now when it says 25 growth, that means city growth, which is different. Those are only those special towns, the closest ones being Middenheim and Carcassonne. There's only like 8 around the world where you can get like these huge chaos havens. But it gives you reduced upkeep for whatever that class of unit is. Now the Tzeentch ones are 20 off as well. The rest of them are 10, so you can get, and there's the technology you can get for the Tzeentch ones lowers it by another 20. Everyone else is by 10, so you can get 40 off of the Tzeentch. So they end up being the cheapest ones. This basically gives you growth, and then you get different buffs for the units as well. So growth is the thing everyone enjoys, then upgrades for plague people. You get research rate and construction costs for buildings. Now, I don't think those are Horde buildings. I think those are city buildings. And then this one you get 20% from, so they have a city one and like a Horde one, and then 2 things for the person. And then this one gives you, this one actually is, this one's really good. This is for every faction. Everybody gets experience per turn. So if you have 5 armies and you get this on everybody, you'd be getting 50 experience per turn. And with the Khorne one, you'd be getting 100% income from all of your cities. So if you have like, you know, 3 of those metropolises or something, it could be good. They don't usually give that much money from what I remember, but anyways, I think we either go with corn early or we can go with Tzeentch. Because we want to get to the cultists ASAP. I don't think we've done the cultist thing yet, though. The horde growth is... Oh, no, we don't get either one. We awaken the tribe here. Duh. Yeah, so we had that. So the having the extra little dude in the army was very helpful there. We didn't summon the ones on our own people yet. And then we want to go past the ruination and get down to cultists. So we can shave that off by 1 turn if we get some more
Tribesmen, gather.
Tzeentch stuff. Okay, so here we just want to go with Burning Head. It's still really expensive. Now, if you overcast it, it's 28, but I think normal cast is like 20 or 21. In the base game, get this, it was 8. 8 to cast it. Now, there's a lot more stuff you can do to increase your mana in SFO, but still, that's kind of nutty. But yeah, Flaming Sword of Ruin's pretty good. Now, this also used to be 8. It's 17. But now it doesn't no longer imbues with magic damage, but with the Tzeentch building we're going to get, it's going to give all of our units magic damage anyways. And this lowers the melee defense and reload skill of your people, but it gives 60% more base missile damage and 60% more base weapon damage. So I think when it's base, a certain percentage of that will go over towards armor piercing. I'm not sure. So I think the armor piercing is a certain percentage of your base, but anyways, very good. And it makes the unit flammable. So there's 25% extra weakness to fire. So basically they're taking 25% extra damage on top of that because you're doing fire damage with this. So that's kind of a theme of this. You can get Kindle Flame as well, which adds 20% weakness to fire. You know, so that throws it to 45% extra damage. And then Burnt gives an extra 10% to fire, so that's 55 damage. So you can do 55% extra damage off of those things. So it's a very good combo. But unfortunately, or fortunately, I guess, there's a ton of good stuff with Archaon. You really want to get Burning Head first, and then we're going to come down here, and we want to get Serve or Die. Or not Serve or Die, Tribes of Chaos for Horde, probably. We do need to get to Lightning Strike pretty quickly, and this casualty replenishment for Lords is very good, because Archaon, that allows him to face tank and then heal up a lot faster. And then this stuff is great once you get to level 12, just pretty much pick all those up. Chaos Warrior buffs, Chosen buffs, Knight buffs, and then Exalted Hero buffs, which reminds me I need to get that Exalted Hero. And then these things, most of them are a good option. Post-battle loot plus 25% is solid. Upkeep reduction for all units. Recruitment reduction for all units is also very nice. Money from raiding. Now, that does make your Chaos Warriors cost a lot more, but I don't think I'm going to be getting a lot of Chaos Warriors, honestly. I'm probably going to be doing other things. Horde growth. And then upkeep reduction for Forsaken, which is probably what I'm going to do instead of Chaos Warriors. Chaos Spawn and Feral Manticores. So Chaos Warriors are good. We might get a few of them, but I think that's okay. And then income from Horde buildings and Horde building construction cost reduced. So I think all of those are very solid. And then you want the tribes. The Serve or Die minus 20% recruitment is very solid. There's a Hearts of Iron is extra 5 melee attack and leadership for Chaos Cultists, which is nice. And then your whole army gets Vigor Loss Reduction, which just basically improves all of your stats. As your units get more tired, it drops a whole bunch of your stats, your movement, melee attack, melee defense, armor, just all kinds of stuff when you're tired. So the Vigor Loss Reduction is basically a huge DPS boost to your whole army. And yeah, you do need to get to Lightning Strike quickly because you will get swarmed by lots and lots of armies, so it's very important to get that. Now, this stuff's okay, but like, because I'm not getting the Marauders early on, I don't feel like I need to get that as much. The Chaos Spawn and Chosen are pretty good, so I've 1 Chosen in my army, and I'm going to have 2 Spawn, the one that I get for free, and then the one that I hired, so that's pretty decent. And then the other one's less so. Later on, when we get the Citadel, upgrading the Hell Cannon stuff can actually be quite good. But that's going to be a little bit... Anyways, okay. So let's keep rolling. I think... not sure if we just want to dash over here. No, I think we can hit him in one turn.
Forward unto slaughter!
Okay. Now this thing can be good for extra research rate, but probably not for now. We don't even need replenishment because we're full health, basically. So I guess we just raid. So you can move full speed and raid and do anything else that you want, which is really nice. Okay. Got all that. Burst song lane.
To be
whatever.
honest, I'd rather be raiding.
They're a lot less likely to give you money early on than they used to be. Okay. So once again we could hire stuff, but I don't think we need to. I think we can win this fight. Especially with the chaos divided thing, like being able to just execute, you know, some of their best units at 50% health and spawn a chaos thing is very, very good early on. And you can get the Forsaken, which I didn't spawn that last fight, but here we're doing only caps, which makes sense. Means you have to have a certain level of buildings in order to get certain units, so you can't just get to tier 5 and just death stack all chosen or all dragons or something. I think this keeps the game a bit more interesting. Okay, so this fight's pretty hard, but shh, I forgot again. Well, I can't hire him this time, but while I remember it, I swear I'm not usually this clumsy. I think we can win it without him this time. It's just gonna be a little bit harder. Probably just Infernal Dominance, defense, armor, all that stuff. So yeah, having that extra 8 armor would be very nice, but so yeah, we can't put him in here, I don't believe. We have to wait till next turn, so we'll see if it comes back to bite me. So we did save 400 gold by not bringing him in, but he's going to be a lower level. So we have to take these out. These Premier Warriors are the big deal. So we need to put the Chaos Warriors with halberds, and then as soon as they get below 50%, we have to execute them. And then everyone else we should be able to deal with. Their Lord's going to be a little tricky, especially without having my hero in there, but it is what it is. Let's do it. Sadie, what is it? So yeah, that hero doesn't usually do get a ton of kills, but he is nice for taking down enemy lords, for helping out with that. Oh, gamble. That's really bad. Alright. Because you can get up to 30, I think, starting naturally.
What do the gods desire?
Okay, so we want to lead with these guys because they have the shields.
Nurgle's pestilent glory! Chosen! Eye of the gods! Tzeentch's many glories! Name your God! Tzeentch's many glories!
Charge them!
Chosen, evil unbound!
Alright, what we got? Spears, want to stay away from those. The Famirs are pretty tough units. They don't have any ranged. Okay, we want to try to hit the Berserkers if we can. So we can force them to come to us, and then probably flank around over here.
All will be despoiled! My blade hungers!
So we can hit those too. They don't have shields either. No, it's just let them come to us here so they don't have any range. Well, they do have a little bit of range right there. Let's hit these berserkers up. I'll try to crack the left side here. Oh crap, I didn't bring these dudes up. Yeah, I don't see any spears on this side either, so that's probably a good place.
Charge! Ready! Move fast! Very well! Rah!
Charge them!
For the Chaos Gods! Chaos will reign! Towards bloody glory!
Archaeon!
Marauder Horsemen! Chaos Marauders! To slaughter!
Reap their souls! My gods call!
Your will! Attack the mortals!
Chaos counts!
Okay, and then once they like overstack over here, we should be able to get a good burning head off for just a little bit more.
Yes! I control Tzeentch's gifts too!
Bring scouts to Khorne's throne!
Archaeon! My blade hungers! Chaos warriors!
Marauder Horsemen! Charge!
No! Seed of God!
That's what the Masters did! Yes!
Marauder horsemen! Get them!
Charge them! Quick! Wreak carnage!
Charge them!
Chaos warriors! Marauder horsemen!
Big fight! Bring corruption! Sword and spell! Lord of the End Times!
Undivided!
Marauder horsemen!
No!
Where are the Famir? Okay, there they are.
Name your demand!
The fates agree! My blade hungers!
Give us carnage!
Give us ruin!
Mortal fool!
Hear the sound earth! Marauder horsemen!
Damn, that magic roll was extremely unfortunate.
My God's call!
Starting with 8 is like so rough.
Charge them!
I really need one more burning head here.
The Dark Gods command me! For the Blood God! Mortal fool!
How much is this? 21. God bless. Okay. Well, they're running. I mean, maybe if I can... We really need those things to die.
Eye of the gods!
All is chaos.
We're about to collapse this flank, I think.
Chosen, obliterate them. Slaanesh is perverse glory.
God, just one more, just burning head right there would break him. These Famirs, I just...
Warriors, what do you bid? Blood for all. Ready.
Yeah, we're gonna have to try to bring these over and get these on these Famirs.
Time to despoil.
We just really did not do a good job of managing them. Alright, we've almost got it. That should break a lot of them. Yeah, there we go.
Syrians I will see.
Slaanesh is perverse glory.
Run, 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 run. Damn it. Well, I mean, I guess they're expendable units, so it really doesn't matter too much, but... Where do I have horses left?
No! Blood! Marauder horsemen!
Gotta get these to start running these things down so they don't, like, rally back. They're gonna rally back, but...
My blade hungers.
Marauder horsemen! Run! Yes! Faster obeys hunger! Kill!
Okay, we gotta get those on the Famir.
Give us ruin.
Those are my real ones. We gotta try to protect those, I think.
Eye of the gods. Move fast. Never slaughter. Nah! Fight! Justin! Quickly! Chosen! Gathered! Undivided! Running! Move fast!
Do not meddle in my destiny. Die in Archaeon fire.
They will succumb! The gods demand it! Bring us to carnage! Gods demand it! Move fast! Ready!
Oh god, they microed him.
Blood for the blood god! Now is our time! Chosen!
Yeah, I think they're all running here. Oof. Alright. We just wanted to make it extra hard by not putting our hero in there. I don't think he would matter that much. He might be able to kill the Famir a little bit better, but...
Deliver slaughter!
Alright. That's probably going to be a close victory. Pyrrhic? Oh, come on. It's rough, because we are going to have, you know, potentially kind of tricky fight at Empire here in a little bit. We didn't lose anything. We didn't lose the dogs. So we can probably hop back over. We're going to have to take a turn off and probably replenish. We can still hire the Colts. We're just not going to have that discount, which is, it's going to cost a lot of extra gold. I don't want to waste my turns, like, not doing anything. Okay, well I guess that was still enough to get us in there. It's money, I think. Income. Movement speed's pretty nice. And the experience. Post-battle loot, 20%. It's a lot. I'm gonna get like 400 gold extra per battle or something. Not as concerned about the growth right now. It's because I can't afford to get any of the extra buildings yet. The research rate is pretty nice because that gives us the cult building, and then that allows us to get to the 10% discount faster, or the Tzeentch faster, but corn.
For the gods of chaos, Syrion's eye guides me.
Okay, so I think it's just Root Marcher and then start getting tribes, I think, for Horde growth. Recruitment cost. I mean, once again, do we need the growth yet? The recruitment cost could be a big deal. I mean, how are we looking on growth? So all we're gonna need for short term is two growth. Because we're gonna get rid of this building and then buy this building, and I think that's all good for a while, and then we can start doing more growth. So how many? That's gonna take 2 turns here, and then another like 4 turns. It's probably okay. But then we're gonna have to buy a bunch of cultists. Now this will give us a 20% discount on them, the base price. We don't have the 50% cultist thing yet. I think I got it. I got to replenish. I think. I don't think there's any other way around it. Yeah. But how much are they? They're like 1,000. So we have a little bit of a discount already. So getting another 20% off would be another like 200 for every cultist, and I'm gonna need to hire. I mean, I'll probably want close to the full 7 to start with, or at least 5. So it's like 1,000 gold. It's just like a one-time 1,000 gold though. So that's like, I don't know, half a battle. Maybe that's not worth. Although getting like my more elite units, like getting the Chosen up to tier 7 or like to a higher level, getting Chaos Spawn up, I don't think the experience affects Archaon. It might. Maybe let's go for the growth anyways. Raising, raiding and raising settlements is pretty good. Also, once you start getting to richer territories, like a lot of this blue stuff is solid. I do still have some Marauder units as well. Like, I'm not going to delete these, probably for a little bit. Like, these count as Marauders also, so that's like 800 gold, 10%, 80 gold per turn. Or could get Hearts of Iron. I kind of like that. It's a huge battle buff. Maybe I'll do campaign movement range, Hearts of Iron. Do I hire the cultists or not? If I do this, that takes 1 turn off. Can I think I can win the next fight without them. I'm going to compromise. I'm going to get 2 here and then not get 2. Was there any point? I guess we can just get 2 next turn. I think we can just combine the dogs. Save a little money. Okay, I guess we'll just chill on it. I think when we get onto this property and heal next turn, I think we'll be okay. And then it'll give us 14. We'll have this guy to go with us. Okay. And we won't have... I technically don't see the Skaven, even though I literally see them right there. Okay. We'll let Beastmen come in and invade. And then, okay, so we're gonna...
Yes, bring corruption. Move. Fool.
You can move pretty far, actually. That's pretty good.
There is only war. For chaos. What?
Okay, wow. So we do get we get a lot of replenishment when we're on allied property, which is good. I mean,
I'll have this world.
I kind of want the cultists though.
The storm of chaos.
Just to make sure we get it. The greedy part of me says don't do it. How much will this knock a turn off? Does not knock a turn off. Okay. Could raid for 262 on this property. If I raid on their property, I don't get the bonus. I think I'm just gonna hire. I think it's just too greedy not to get at least a couple of cultists here, because this might be a pretty serious fight. If they come over here with like a 15 stack or something. Okay. Go through this. Nothing else we want to build yet. Okay. Alright, that's probably going to be it for this episode. I need to keep them all under an hour if I can. 45 minutes to an hour. So yeah, sorry I forgot to bring in the dude for the first, like, 3 turns. I was talking about it, then I just totally forgot, but made it a little more interesting. I think we'll still be alright. So he's probably 1 or 2 levels behind where he would be, but we also have, like, 600 more gold in our pocket, so... Yeah, it's pretty much what happened, almost exactly. There's, bring a 15 stack, 13 stack over there. Volksgrad has like 5 units. So yeah, it's going to be 20 on, or 18 on 15. So it should be interesting. We do have our guy here. He's going to be able to help us out a little bit. And just having him in the army is nice too, because then we get a little more defense, the armor and the melee defense. And I think we just win long fights. Like having the extra armor, because a lot of our units are going to have high melee defense anyways. We've got really good magic. I'd just rather be a really defensive, you know, with chaos, and then just once again let those tactical units really put in the work. But if our front line has a hell of a lot of defense, I think we just win long fights against most factions. Because chaos in general just have tons of armor, you know, regeneration on a lot of units, magic resist, big monsters. We've got the Tzeentch guys, which we'll talk about next time, that I'll probably start getting, that have really good healing properties to them. It just takes a lot of time to really unlock their full power. So longer fights, great for us, and that's what more melee defense and armor means. But anyways, that's going to be it. Thank you very much. As always, hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to like and subscribe if you did. Stay tuned for the next few episodes. I'm not sure how many we're doing yet. I just went ahead and started this in advance because David's sponsored a lot of stuff on the channel, and he mentioned this, and I just got kind of excited by it. I thought it looked fun. Going back through this again, a lot of people seem to enjoy it. Like I said, I think this is the most viewed. The previous run of this that I did with Archaeon was the most viewed campaign on the channel. So hopefully we can get similar numbers eventually with this. It is a really fun campaign. It's very, very unique. One of the, like I said, most well done, like semi reworks that SFO mod did. So go support Venrus, download the mod, keep up with all the new stuff. There is a new upgrade coming to, I think his next one is Tomb Kings and Norsca, and I think that's coming out in a month and a half, so stay tuned for that. If you want me to do a playthrough of that, just holler at me. We can make it happen. But anyways, that's going to be it. Have a good day. See you next time.